Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 823, NFL Week 6 predictions with Podcast Flair. Hello, Big Chillians, and welcome back to the Big Chill Podcast. Frank, joined with Eddie. Eddie, how's it going?
Yeah, things are going pretty well. Nice, gloomy Friday afternoon here, but my day was just slightly improved by the fact that during my lunch break, I watched episode 3 of Chad Powers, so I had that going for me.
Classic pick-me-up.
Oh, yeah. Really inspirational story.
Yeah, a team that is so good that they can fill out what looks like 100,000-seat stadium, but not good enough to employ equipment managers and have to have coaches sprint back to the locker room to get backup equipment.
Also, I mean, we don't have to have too much Chad Powers discussion, but they're playing Ole Miss, who are, I think, ranked 13 in the preseason rankings. Like when it shows the scoreboard, I think they were 13, and they're losing 13-3 in the fourth quarter. And their calls to fire the coach, which I get, it's a pretty poor offensive performance, but if they're an unranked team, the fact that they are keeping it pretty close with a top 15 side, that doesn't seem like the type of performance that would lead to calls to fire the coach.
You haven't been to a Penn State game, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
They could be up 13 against a ranked team and there's still calls to fire Franklin.
Yeah. Also, just heavy use of the R word.
Oh, wow.
They've just decided that's okay.
It's back.
Like that's fine. That's so bizarre to me.
I think that show is showing its true colors, and those colors are not good. If there was a crayon called "Not Good," it would be Chad Powers.
I also love that there's the scene where he runs by the assistant coach, and he's not in his prosthetics, so he kind of looks at her, pauses, watches back. She just runs by him as if he is a completely unrecognizable human being.
Yeah.
Two things against this. As you pointed out, there's no way Frank runs by Glenn Powell and doesn't take a look back because you think he's super hot. So you're definitely turning around anyway. But also, whilst his face does look different, I don't think he doesn't look so radically different that you wouldn't run by this guy in really good shape on your university and go like, that guy looks a little bit like a better looking version of our quarterback.
Or Eddie, I think even a better argument would be, I'm a assistant football coach in college football. Hey, doesn't that look like the guy that was going to be like a number 1 draft pick quarterback from Oregon?
Yes, it's true. There's a little bit of inconsistency there. In episode 1, he was.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Johnny Manziel ran by me 8 years after his collapse in the NFL, I'd still fucking recognize him.
I'm not sure
he's not even like recognizable. Do you know what I mean? And I still think you'd recognize him.
So I don't think I would. I think if I think it's Johnny Manziel,
had $1 million chain hanging from his neck.
I think if Johnny Manziel just jogged by me, I wouldn't pay much notice of him. But it is true. Episode 1, everyone recognizes him at all times, and then by episode 3, no one recognizes him at all. So it's like, why don't you just take off the prosthetics and play in your normal? Also,
wait. I got one too. In addition to the R word, what was with the fat ass joke and the pog joke?
Oh, yeah, it's strange.
What was with that joke?
Yeah, strange.
Really weird joke choices in this show.
Now, obviously, we'll get to find out. This plays out one of two ways, right? Which is either he does so well that he eventually reveals himself and he's getting drafted into the NFL. I think there's the possibility here where it's sort of a more wholesome take, which is he realizes that he doesn't need football, in the same way and so that he doesn't have to pursue his career anymore. This is sort of scratch the itch, and then maybe he goes into coaching or something. Like he returns to his former self. If he does, if there's a moment in time when he does reveal who he truly is, does he risk going to prison for fraud? He's forged documents to attend a university. Is the university football program, is this like SMU? They're just shut down forever because obviously the expectation would be they knew. And then is there any possibility that he somehow comes out of that? Like he's even less draftable now to a certain degree than he was to start with.
Oh, I've already thought about this. Number one, he's ruined this program. If this coach thought he had any chance of keeping his job, he's ruined this program. He's ruined the coach. He's ruined the program. Second off, he's already, like as you said, he's already disliked for pushing a father of a terminally ill child into the child's wheelchair and knocking him over. How will the media react when they find out his next big act is faking a person to get on a team again and break the rules again to play football? I mean, he will be blacklisted from the NFL at that point. The NFL might come out and make a statement saying, like, we will never allow this person in the NFL.
Yeah, there's just no chance.
The only way he could make this worse is if in the last game he takes a knee. That'll definitely blacklist him from the NFL.
Yeah.
So actually, I had a good little story I saw on Instagram. A lot of people, listeners or friends might be asking, hey, how is Eddie doing? Basically a year now after he had his gallbladder removed, is he feeling better? Are things going well? Is he not as sick anymore? The real question they should be asking is, how are the businesses being affected by Eddie's gallbladder removal? Because I got an Instagram post saying Krispy Kreme might be going out of business. Since last year, which is almost a year to the date of your sickness and gallbladder removal, they have seen a 15% decline in revenue. That is amazing. You contribute 15% to Krispy Kreme's annual revenue. You've got to reach out to someone and tell them you'll be back or something, because they are panicking. They are panicking right now over to Krispy Kreme.
I admire how much you commit to this joke. But the last Saturday when I was in Waterloo train station going to the rugby, there is a Krispy Kreme van there inside the stadium, like an Airstream that's been stuck inside selling Krispy Kremes. And I commented to our three friends who were with me, make sure you tell Frank that I did not rip this Airstream apart in an attempt to access the donuts. But
well, you know what? Krispy Kreme is saying, please do so.
Yeah,
we miss you. We miss you, Eddie.
I haven't had a donut in a while, but I wasn't actually eating that many donuts beforehand anyway. But it has been a while. I'm sure I'll have one when we're in the US. I'm sure I'll have one. I'm also near me. I told you there's a place opening up called Donkey Donuts, and I'm gonna have to give that a try. And I definitely want a Donkey Donuts T-shirt. So those two things have to happen.
What a weird ripoff of Dunkin' Donuts.
That's a mistake they've made, because when I saw it and it wasn't opened yet, so I Googled Donkey Donuts to try and see when it was opening or if it was a franchise or something, and all you get are Dunkin' Donuts. Did you mean Dunkin' Donuts? Did you mean it's like, no, I actually meant to
I meant the idiots that named it very close to that.
And then the other problem they have is, I think there's, based on these searches, there are Donkey Donuts, which is some kind of treat for horses that also gets sold. So the other thing, you kind of run into two obstacles, which is, I think you mean Dunkin' Donuts. No, I don't. Oh, then if not, you must be trying to buy a treat for your horse. Here you go. Like it's a lose-lose for them.
And conspiracy theorists will be all over the fact that you suddenly move out of Paris without a real reason, and then next thing you know, a donut shop opens up 1 block down the road from you.
I also, because I googled it,
theorists all over that one.
Because I googled it, you can see exactly when, just to please you, you can see exactly when the company was registered, and the company was registered like within 2 or 3 days of me signing my lease here. So
I bet. The classic reverse fact move here.
now, speaking of lose, I guess not to get political on this topic, but it's hard not to mention it. Argentina and Puerto Rico were scheduled to play a match next week in Chicago, but that match has now had to be moved to Florida because of concerns over over the immigration crackdown that would happen and the risks of both Puerto Ricans and Argentinians who might be attending that game, and the possibility that ICE might just see that as just a honey trap for them to go after. Not major implications there for a friendly between Argentina and Puerto Rico. Huge concern for what this means for the World Cup that's coming up next summer, and how they might think about where games can be held and how people visiting the U.S. may feel in the current climate.
Well, it's already too late. They already have all the games decided, I think, where they're playing, because they just released the ticket prices.
Yeah, which are outrageous. Absolutely. And I saw the comparison between so the 2022 World Cup and the 2026 World Cup. Now, let's keep in mind Qatar did get to benefit from a huge amount of slave labor, and they were able to pass those benefits on to people going and buying tickets. Like that's the positive spin on that, right? But the opening match, the cheapest ticket for the opening match of the 2022 World Cup, so category 4, was $55, whereas the cheapest ticket for the opening match of this World Cup will be $560, so 10 times more expensive.
That's crazy.
And basically that's the
I
case
thought a
across the
normal
board.
match though was only like 100.
So a group match is the cheapest ticket is $100, but then cheapest ticket for the Qatar World Cup group match was $11.
Yeah, but that's because no one was going though. That's them trying to get people to go to Qatar and spend money. But because I understand that is very expensive compared to Qatar, but one, Qatar is just a weird location for the World Cup. But the U.S., that's pretty comparable to what you'd spend that's actually cheaper than what you'd spend to go watch an NFL game.
Probably.
I think we're going to find when we go to the Vikings that we'd love to pay that category for a regular season Vikings game.
I'll say this. Based on how the Vikings season is going, and it's playing the Ravens and how their season is going, I'm going to say there's going to be some pretty freely available tickets on the secondary market that might be less than $100 in the nosebleeds.
We'll have to see. But I think that's pretty comparable to me. I didn't think they were super outrageous. I understand comparable to other World Cups, although I don't know what the last one before Qatar, how much those were.
I think the issue too is though that this is a little misleading because I don't think many of the stadiums have many category 4 tickets.
That could be true.
So the reality is it's like, oh yeah, you can get a ticket for $100, but really you're almost forced to get a category 3 ticket. So then you're looking at
without telling me the prices, I would say if I were going to the World Cup, I would expect to pay $250 a ticket.
For which category?
That just in general. Like if I'm going to the World Cup, I'd be like I'd be willing to pay $250.
Well, that doesn't get you any ticket to the quarterfinals onwards.
Okay.
So you're done. You can just get into. But
can I go see England, Tunisia
in round the group stages?
In the group stage.
In the group stages, you can. The round of 16, the cheapest ticket is $220. So you're just getting in the door. But
I mean, this is calling the kettle black here. This is two people discussing this who are paying $450 each to go see the Breeders' Cup to see seven good horse races.
I find the Breeders' Cup tickets outrageous too. Like I
know. That's what I'm saying. I think that's just American prices.
It is and I mean I don't have a point of reference in that I haven't gone to a football World Cup, in part because of the fact that the last one was in Qatar and then it was in Russia. So they're not exactly, and now it's in a dystopian society that's falling apart. So they're not exactly making it easy for me. But, Rugby World Cup that I went to in 2023 in France, tickets were €100, €150 for group games, non-important games. It's just strange to me because that you're gonna spend money when you're there. I would rather make it like I think you're better off getting people in the door and then someone saying like, "Oh, tickets weren't bad, so I will get another beer." Like I think most people's mind would work that way versus I've spent $500 on this ticket, so I'm not buying anything when I'm there.
You don't
That's
think
it.
people are gonna? You don't think you're gonna drink?
I think you'll get a lot of people where, especially if they're bringing kids or their family, the budget will have been stretched so much to just get there that I think the drinking or the in-stadium consuming will be significantly less.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To me, those seem like, although they're high, they seem pretty standard American sporting prices. I mean, even so, we're going to college hockey tonight. And even that, for like not even the best seats, for actually, like, let's say if there's 4 categories, category 3 seats, were $50 a ticket
Yeah,
to
that's
go see
insane.
college hockey. That's insane.
That's insane. I
It's
agree with
insane.
you. I think everything's too.
It's
The rent is
wild.
too damn high, Frank. The rent is too damn high.
Oh,
But yeah, no, it's and this is the problem is I think the mindset from organizers of events and games and tournaments for so long has been, oh, there's just insatiable demand. And so you won't pay it, but someone else will. And we can just keep getting more and more expensive. And
corporate will buy it.
yeah, which is also the
That's
other
the
issue
problem.
is someone's expensing it and writing it off and they don't really care. And so whether you charge them $50 or $100, like even for your hockey game, there's probably a bunch of people who are local business people taking, entertaining and going, what, we get 4 tickets for $50 to the hockey game. People enjoy it. It's something to do. Okay. Our real prospects, our real customers get a Vikings game, but like,
Go to the Wild.
yeah, but if you're only spending, if you're a small client, I'll take you to a University of Minnesota hockey game.
Yeah.
That's okay. But
It's a 3M arena, so maybe they're to blame.
maybe I should pull some strings. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a box by the time I get there. But yeah, it does just. I just feel like it, and it continues to happen. Everything just gets more and more expensive. And that's at the time when people are consistently complaining about cost of living. And we're not the podcast for this type of discussion. But it is just funny to me that it just feels like sports organizers in general are just so happy to price gouge and not are not concerned. And this is also happening whilst it's easier and more affordable to have a really big TV and to sit at home and watch it in a much more comfortable environment and probably enjoy the event in 4K. And also, whilst there's huge talk of illegal streaming that allows you to watch any sporting event, and then you have the,
They
you have
have
the
that?
Premier. Yeah, supposedly. I don't think it works very well though. But
that sounds crazy.
You have the
I'm
Premier
look
League.
Into that.
You have the Premier League trying to crack down on it, saying, "Oh, this is killing us." It's like, well, in part, it's killing you because you're killing yourselves because you're asking a dad who has 2 kids to pay £150 just to go to the game, plus you're telling him go spend £300-400 on a day out to entertain your children versus, you know what, I'll buy a nice TV for £1,200 and get the game at home. And that will have paid for itself theoretically in like 3 months.
Yeah, but it's a vicious cycle. So now the Premier League teams have to charge more because people are buying more TVs, and then more TVs are bought, so they have to charge more. In 5 years, to go to the Premier League match, it'll cost like £4,000 a ticket.
When we'll know things are really fucked is when one of these Premier League teams is like sponsored by one of the illegal streamers. That's when.
No. We'll know. No. I got a better one than that. We'll know the system's fucked when our friend Furlong stops going to random matches.
Oh, that's true.
when he doesn't go to a random Fulham Wednesday afternoon match, then we know shit's really fucked.
Yes, yeah, he's their ideal consumer, so that would be a concern. Moving on to other sporting topics, I guess we'll mostly focus on the NFL today, especially because it's International Week. So not a lot of interesting to talk. But there is Jude Bellingham's brother, who moved to Dortmund this summer, is in the midst of a complicated situation there, having followed in his brother's footsteps by going Birmingham to Dortmund. He finds himself not playing quite as much as he would have liked.
But wants to go to Real Madrid nonetheless.
Yeah. And reports have come out that said that after he was substituted in on his debut, his parents went down into the changing rooms and were
Oh, that's
screaming
weird.
at the director of football. So now his parents have been banned from matches.
Oh man, great look for the family there.
And 6 matches in, Joe Bellingham has yet to finish a match. Like, he's always been substituted off even when he started. But he has supposedly already told the team basically that he wants to go elsewhere. He's getting little sympathy from anyone at Dortmund, with the Dortmund manager coming out and saying in slightly softer terms, yes, it turns out that playing for Dortmund is a little bit harder than playing for Birmingham. So you have to
Ooh.
fight to make the team, is basically how he said it, which is fair enough. But all of this comes at a time when Jude Bellingham was left out of the England team, and there's lots of speculation that Jude Bellingham's kind of difficult to be around. So not making Jude Bellingham look any better, because it seems like it's a family thing, that maybe these are they're not the best chemistry guys.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm not as in touch with it, but you could see even in the last, World Cup and Euros, all these big tournaments he's been in, he's around the same age as a good amount of those players that are up and coming for England. And while all of those players seem to really get along well, he's kind of like almost on the periphery a lot of those times. Like, even like during celebrations, or like when you see the behind the scenes footage of them hanging out, playing ping pong or table tennis, or, whatever they're doing, like swimming in the pool. It's like always kind of the same group, and he's never really in the center of it. So I can see that, maybe he's just not a good chemistry guy, and then maybe that's a family thing. Maybe they're just not good chemistry families.
Yeah, no, it's possible.
I mean,
But
not a great example for your parents to come storming down to the changing room.
no, no, it doesn't make you look good, especially when your son is one of your sons, not that son, but is one of the, you know, biggest stars in world football. You'd think you
That's
would.
crazy to me. Like, I could never imagine, even if I were like very good at sports, that like my parents would come into a locker room and like yell at a coach, and I wouldn't tell them to like get the hell out or something.
Yeah, especially when you're okay. Joe Bellingham's still young, but you've made the move to Dortmund. You're kind of established in the professional world. This isn't a 15-year-old just making his way into the team who maybe feels like he needs his parents to help him out.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
that would
exploiting my minor. That's a different story.
I would be so embarrassed by that. I mean, at any age, even at 13, that would have embarrassed me. But certainly in a professional setting, I would have been super. I mean, maybe that's why he wants to leave Dortmund. Maybe this is like a kid who's accidentally called his teacher mommy at school, and it's like, I need to go. Like, burn everything. I've got to get out of here. Like, this is. This is impossible for him to recover and get his sort of schoolyard credit back.
Sam can't wait to be able to storm his son's locker room.
Oh dear. Yeah. Meanwhile, Jude Bellingham's over in Madrid just aura farming constantly, as young people say nowadays. But I did like, because Thomas Tuchel was asked in the build up to this, why he'd left Jude Bellingham out, even though he'd made his return. And I think he handled those questions really, really well, which was just that, he'd made it for decisions. But part of the controversy is that Thomas Tuchel in the summer had at one moment said that his mother finds Jude Bellingham repulsive, which was a slightly it was a slightly lost in translation moment. I think he wanted like off-putting that she isn't his biggest fan, basically because of how he carries himself. But obviously,
Still not that great.
still not great. It shouldn't be said as a England manager, but yeah, it was. There might be Thomas Tuchel and Jude Bellingham might not be on the best of terms.
Yeah, it's a shame because England could really use him and need him.
Didn't need him against Wales, so everything's fine.
Well, actually, speaking of Sam, he said it was a boring second half.
I can imagine. I don't even think it was that interesting of a first half. So, I mean, the fact that talk about a guy his reasons for wanting to do this thing was to
I knew
accumulate.
that's why I brought it up. I just brought this up just so I
I
could
had to
tee you
ask him.
up.
I had to ask him about it. So for listeners of the podcast, former co-host Sam came up with this weird, in order to qualify for purchasing tickets through the England fan association, like official tickets through England, you have to have attended a certain number of matches and sort of have a good enough status so that you can even get them. And so this includes going to home matches, but also going to away matches. So Sam, as along with a couple of other people we know, have been attempting to attend enough matches so that they could then buy tickets to this World Cup. Not only has Sam, on the basis of the costs associated with this World Cup, already given up on this idea that he will be attending the World Cup, he also then hasn't even got enough points to buy the away tickets, because those also are sold to people who have attended more matches. So I think he wanted to go to Serbia to watch England there, but he can't even get the tickets to Serbia, England, because his status isn't good enough. So his chances of being eligible for buying tickets that way for the World Cup are basically zero. And yet he still is sort of half-assedly persisting with this project.
Sam hasn't even gotten enough points to get a discount off an England scarf, let alone be able to get tickets.
But he really enjoyed England against Wales. It was all worth it.
Sometimes people think, like, why does Frank ask some of these random questions? I think he knows the answer to it. And the reason is I just like to tee up people sometimes. Get them going. Get the engines fired up and revving up. Yeah, what I also don't get is why couldn't he have just asked, like, me to get tickets?
I don't know.
Because wouldn't I have, like, a priority? Because, like, it's in my country?
No, because I mean, I do think, I think it is slightly, if you've got to that status, it is easier. Like, you're sort of guaranteed to be able to get tickets to the matches that you want, the England matches that you want. But he was never going to, though there are people who've been doing this their whole lives, who go to every England game. Like, that's their personality is that they do this, and they go to every tournament and you are never going to get close to competing with those people in terms of, things that they will have, like points or status that they will have amassed over the years.
Yeah.
One final non-NFL topic before we move on, something that brings you a little bit closer to home. Did you see that Mike Trout's golf course, Trout National, is opening in New Jersey?
Mike Trout, as in the baseball player?
The baseball player, yeah.
No,
he is, because he's from New Jersey, so he's wanted to create a golf course in New Jersey. He invested a total of $100 million.
Wow, so like half a year's salary.
Yeah, it's limited to 227 members, which I think he wears. I think he wears number 27, which I think is the only reason why it's that number. It's $250,000 a year.
Okay.
So pretty expensive.
What is Trump National cost a year?
I don't know. But the thing that's interesting about it is, based on those numbers, it will take 20 to 25 years for the course to even break even. Like, with so few members, even at $250,000 a year, you are not bringing in enough money to justify the initial expense. So obviously, I mean, he's opening it for other reasons, and it's a long-term view, and there's the value of the real estate and all sorts of things, but confusing business venture. And I don't know if the fact that it's owned by a baseball player he's not Michael Jordan, which is like, oh, let's go play at Michael Jordan's course. Maybe he'll be wandering around. I don't know how excited I would be to see Mike Trout on the driving range. So
I'm just looking at the most expensive golf club memberships in the world. The number one is Shanquin Bay Golf Club in China with a $1 million joining fee and membership fee. But there are a few in the U.S. that are pretty high. So Sebenak Golf Club in Southampton, New York has a initiation fee between $650,000 to $1 million. The Madison Club in La Quinta, California is about $500,000, and Augusta fees are reportedly over $500,000.
Nice.
It's a pretty rare area.
Yeah, nice problem to have.
You know what?
All
They
right.
just stopped. They just stopped going to national sporting events, and they saved a shit ton of money.
It's true. Well, no, and the benefit there is you join one of those golf clubs, someone there has a box. So that's where you save money. You still get to go to the Giants game. It's just now you don't have to pay anymore because your buddy's just inviting you to his spare seat in the box. So actually, if you girl math this, it pays for itself.
Maybe we should join. Can we join as one?
We'll never attend. This is not convenient for either one of us.
You don't even have to give us a locker.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of New Jersey, obviously the Giants beat the Eagles last night.
Franchise making win there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd go that far. I will say I had been not as complimentary of Jackson Dart as you had been so far. That was a really good performance. He looked good. Good
Top
throws.
5 QBR performances of the year in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't care as much about that as you do, but he looked good. Like good arm strength, nice throws, knew when to scramble, when not. You know, which I always think is
first downs.
Yeah, I always think it's a concern a little bit with some quarterbacks who do like to be mobile is that they get happy feet and then you find them scrambling when they do have time in the pocket to actually make a throw. And I do think you see some signs of that with him where he is sort of trying to escape pressure that maybe isn't quite there yet. And if he just stood still, you could have a more conventional play. Not everything needs to be backyard football, as they love to talk about, which I love because the commentators, anytime I want to know a quarterback in the NFL who doesn't love backyard football, because anytime a guy does sort of improvise and make a play, the immediate follow up is, oh, that's just good backyard football. That's what Jackson Dart loves. And then next, oh, that's good backyard football. Just what Brock Purdy loves. You know, like there's no one out there who they really say hates backyard football.
Yeah. No, he looked really good though. I mean, even some of the throws that he didn't complete, a lot of them weren't even his fault. Like Theo Johnson had a terrible drop over the middle for a first down, and he had a really nice touchdown pass to little Jordan Humphrey where he kind of like floated over the defender and Humphrey literally just dropped it in the end zone. Like, so, I mean, unfortunate, but that's what you're going to get when you have your practice squad receiver called up 2 days before. So
I'm sorry, I was smiling as you were speaking just because my eyes have drifted over to Microsoft Copilot, which I have modified my prompt to try and make it a little bit more artsy.
Artsy.
So I asked it I said to make the predictions, but also so that they could be read out on a podcast. I've never asked it that before. So it said, absolutely, let's spice things up with some podcast style flair. And I've just cast my eye to some of these predictions. You're going to love them. This is you. I'll give you, it predicted Eagles 31, Giants 16. Phillies flying in with feathers ruffled after last week's stumble, but don't expect a repeat. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' ground game will trample the Giants, who've yet to find rhythm. Phillies turn the ball over just once all season. That's not a typo.
Well, they turned it over twice last night.
Not a typo either.
That's funny. Can you tell them to shorten it up like one more sentence? It's a little too long still. I don't need to listen to fucking Sam that long.
Some of them are shorter. Most of them are about 2 sentences.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was a good performance. I mean, look, ultimately, I think the big takeaway has to be, you know, we spoke the theme of, I think for a while is, are there any really good teams? And we gave the Eagles a pass, which was, we've seen this from them before, and we just had to trust a little bit in the process that when they really need it. And still fundamentally, I think for the remainder of the regular season, I'm going to have to give them that status of we'll see what they do in the playoffs. But last night was bad. That Jalen Hurts looked bad. Their defense didn't look good. Their offensive line didn't look great. Like it was bad.
I think a lot of it is play calling still. Like, I don't understand how now in the last 2 games that they've lost, you had Barkley run the ball 9 times and then 12 times in a game.
Yeah.
And especially when you watch that game early, His first 2 runs were for like 40 yards. And
Yeah,
it's
his
like,
first
okay,
run was
that worked, guys. Guys, that worked so well. Let's slow that down. Let's stop that.
his first run was one of his longest of the season, if not his
It
longest of the
was the
season.
longest of his season.
Yeah, and yeah, just the first 2 drives they had, it looked like, oh, he's just going to be able to pick up 6-7 yards every time. And it kind
he
of
was.
turned, when it kind of changed, it was when you had a read option and Hurts decided not to hand the ball over to him. And instead, Hurts went the other way, and he just got demolished. Whereas Barkley probably was taking off for a touchdown if he'd made the correct read. And then that was strangely the moment at which they decided, let's not give the ball to Barkley anymore. And it was very strange.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would say this is just the state of the NFL this season, with the fact that, the Giants can't beat the New Orleans Saints, but then come in and pretty handily beat the Eagles. But I think this is more, to me, still an indication of Thursday night football and just how weird Thursday night football is. I want to see the stats on Thursday night football because I just don't trust anyone who plays on Thursday night.
All right. Next week, I'll come to you with all the stats. All right.
Okay.
On Thursday.
You don't need to come with me, but you can just give me the stats.
So yeah, moving on then to this week. We have another London game, something to look forward to. The Broncos at the Jets at Spurs Stadium. Broncos are 7-point favorites. Would you like to get another quick taste before we make our predictions of what Copilot thinks, just to get some of that podcast flair into our predictions that we've been so sorely lacking?
Oh, you want Copilot Sam to kick us off?
Yeah, well, this is the first.
Go ahead.
We got Jets 13, Broncos 24. Pack your umbrellas and your punting units. This one's headed across the pond. Denver's defense is quietly elite, and the Jets, they've got fewer sacks than a tea party. Broncos win ugly, but convincingly.
Wait, I don't get. Is he confusing tea bags with tea sacks?
I guess, yeah, or maybe this is. I guess they threw sacks of tea over when in the Boston Tea Party.
I guess, yeah.
It's a give Sam a break. He really reached for it on that one, and he
that was a reach.
There's at least some flair there.
There's definitely flair for sure. I mean, I can't really disagree with Copilot Sam on that one, though. Yeah. I mean, the Broncos are kind of starting to find their footing a little bit. I'm still not convinced in Bo Nix. I don't think he looks that good this year, but their defense does look pretty good. I think it's finally coming into form there. And the Jets are just bad. I mean, the Jets could be the worst team. I think as much as we say who the best team in the NFL is, it's a little tough to decide who the worst team in the NFL is as well. And the Jets may be the worst team. They may not, but they're down there. And so I think you have to take the Broncos here to win and to cover.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your doubts about Bo Nix, but you know what makes life a lot easier for Bo Nix? The Jets yet to have a takeaway this season, and they only have 3 sacks in the last 4 games. So this might be the easiest outing that Bo Nix has all season. And I guess I didn't mention the spread is Broncos -7, sorry. So I'll take the Broncos to win and the Broncos to cover.
Yeah. Bo Nix only held to 60 passing yards last season when he played the Jets. So
there you go.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
I'm guessing you're taking the Broncos to cover?
Yeah.
Another reasonably big spread in our next game, Cardinals at the Colts. And the Colts are 7.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I think the spread might be a little high here, or it might be a little low here. And to me, that is, I don't know what to make of the Cardinals. Now, this is a team that lost to the Titans, but really demolished the Titans in the same, like they lost a game that they probably were the better team by 3 scores to. So I don't know what that means. But they are 2-3. They've been close in games, but aren't winning. And Daniel Jones, listen, he could be the MVP by the end of the season. And Jonathan Taylor could be the offensive player of the year at the end of the season as well. So I'm going to take Daniel Jones, who leads the NFL in QBR outside the pocket, and is second overall in QBR this season. You want to take a guess who number 1 is in QBR rankings right now?
Overall, not specifically outside of the pocket.
Yes, overall. It's not who you're going to guess.
Trevor Lawrence.
No, not a bad guess, though. Sam Darnold on the Seahawks.
And that tells you that QBR is not everything.
Quietly having a good... No, he's having a good season. It's just that their defense sucks. So I'll take the Colts here and to win.
I'm going to take the Colts to win, but I'm not going to take them to cover. 7.5 does feel like a lot. I think this is an overreaction to the Cardinals' collapse last week. And you're right. They should have won that game by 20 points. And I think the spread is slightly different if they had done. And actually, the Cardinals could have 2 or 3 more wins than they have so far this season. And look, you could do this with every team. Oh, if we could just change this play, this drive. But realistically, the Cardinals are probably better than their record represents. So I think the Colts will win, but I'm not going to take them to cover, even though the Colts do have a very good defense. Co-pilot Sam.
Sorry.
Co-pilot, hopefully that will come out in editing. Co-pilot Sam has the Colts winning 28-17. Arizona's offense is stuck in neutral and Indy's defense is licking its chops. With top 10 takeaway numbers, the Colts will feast. Look for a pick 6 to swing momentum.
He loves to predict these pick sixes.
It does. Because you know what? It's a shot to nothing. It's a shot to nothing, but when you get it right, it's glorious.
No matter what the prompt is of how they're supposed to say it, they'll still say it the same at the end of the day.
All right. Then you have the Browns at the Steelers, and the Steelers are 6-point favorites. I guess I'll be quick on this one. It's tough because I don't think the Steelers are as good as their record represents, and I actually don't think the Browns are as bad as their record represents either. Like, that is a good defense. It once again performed last week, and I think you can look at Aaron Rodgers and worry that at a certain moment in time, we've seen how he struggles when he gets pressured, and I'm tempted to go for the upset, but I'm not going to. But I will take the Steelers to win, but not to cover. I think the Browns will keep it close just because of how good their defense is.
Yeah, the Browns defense is good, but that offense is so bad. This is an offense who hasn't scored more than 17 points in 10 straight games. That's to not get to 20 in 10 games is really bad. But I'm going to give you 3 stats, Eddie, that might convince you that the Browns have no chance in this game, and you can tell me which one you like the best. Cleveland hasn't won a game in Pittsburgh, a regular season game in Pittsburgh, since 2003. 22 years since they've won in Pittsburgh. That is bad. Second, the Steelers have won 8 straight games following a bye, the second longest active streak in the NFL. Good team off a bye, Eddie. Always take them. Last one, the Browns are 0-7 against the spread in their past 7 road games, the longest active losing streak.
Yeah, those aren't good signs. Although I guess I have to say, you say good team after so you're putting the Steelers as a good team?
They're 4-1. Statistically speaking, they're a good
But
team.
I want you on record. I want the words to come out of your mouth.
No, they're not good.
Okay, so then we have to throw.
I'll take the Steelers to win here, and I'll take. Okay, if the Browns can't score more than 17, let's say they score 14, does that mean it's 5.5? So they got to get to 21?
6.
Okay, I'll take the Steelers to cover. I think they can do that.
Okay.
24-14.
Right. Well, this
is
a
co-pilot.
So co-pilot has the... See, co-pilot got it wrong. So in that... So initially, co-pilot had the Browns winning 23-20. Old school AFC North slugfest. Cleveland's defense is nasty. Just 4.8 yards per play allowed. Kenny Pickett will need magic, but the dog pound bites harder. So I had told co-pilot had to up its game. And
what did you say? Kenny Pickett doesn't play for them, you stupid fuck?
I said, you've got a lot of the quarterbacks wrong. Update your predictions and make sure that you have the right players. It apologized and told me I was correct. And so then it adjusted its prediction with the Browns to Steelers 24, Browns 17.
Oh my
Tomlin's
God, that's
crew,
like exactly what I predicted almost.
Tomlin's crew is rested and ready. Gabriel's got guts, but Pittsburgh's defense brings the heat.
Gabriel's got guts.
Yeah.
Go Pilot, we all got guts. They're what keep us alive.
Up next, we have the Cowboys at the Panthers, and the Cowboys are 3-point favorites. And I have to be honest with you, I think they should be heavier favorites than this. Like we've seen so far this season that this Cowboys offense is like pretty legitimate, consistently scores points. Prescott has 8 touchdowns and 0 turnovers in the last 2 games. I think you can just pencil the Cowboys in for 25 plus points, but I think really almost 30 plus points against almost anyone, certainly against a mediocre to bad Panthers team. And in a sense, the Panthers over the last week or two have maybe shown signs of life, but I think we're being fooled more by that than anything else. So I think that the Cowboys will win this and win this comfortably.
Yeah, this is one of the few spreads this week that is a little strange to me, and we'll get to obviously the one I think we're both going to agree is a little insane. But I agree with you. I think the Cowboys are a much better team here. If anything, they make games fun to watch. I'll give them that. They're the only team in the NFL this season scoring and allowing 30 points per game. So always a high scoring affair. They're the first team since the 2021 Chiefs to do that through the first 5 games. So I don't think the Panthers are very good. And Bryce Young, every week we got to hear is this the game that Bryce Young turns the corner? Oh, and then it's like, oh, Bryce Young, is now he a bust? Oh, he's back again. Every week he has one good quarter and people want to say he's back, but the Cowboys are definitely better than the Panthers. So I'll take the Cowboys to win and to cover.
Yeah, and Copilot has the Cowboys winning 33-20. Dak is dialed in, and Rico Dowd's revenge game adds fuel. Bryson Young shows flashes, but Dallas dominates. Up next, we have the Chargers at the Dolphins, and the Chargers are 4-point favorites. At what point? I mean, this line 2 weeks ago is Chargers minus 7 or 8. At what point do you start to, as official leader of the Herbert fan club, at what point do you start to have some concerns about both Justin Herbert and this Chargers team?
I mean, I had concerns about the Chargers team as soon as Slater went out in preseason. I mean, that's, the best tackle potentially in the NFL being out. That's not a good start. And now they've lost their other tackle, who's also really good. So when you have your 2 best linemen are both out on a team that Herbert has been sacked. Do you see this stat? Herbert, through the same amount of games, has been hit more times than Andrew Luck was. And Andrew Luck was forced into a much early retirement. So Herbert is just getting destroyed back there. And it's not going to be better when his 2 best linemen are out. Fortunately for him, the Dolphins are a clusterfuck of a team. And I don't think they're very good at all. So I think the Chargers will win this. But there is definitely concern about the Chargers right now as to how good they can be against good teams, for sure. But keep in mind, Mike McDaniel, since he's been the coach of the Dolphins, he's 3-14 against teams with winning records. Not a good stat. That's a terrible stat.
Yeah, not a good stat. And yeah, we've definitely seen some improvement from the Dolphins over the last week or two. At least the offense looks functioning again. So that's a good sign. And Tua looks pretty decent. They can move the ball, but I think this is putting a lot of faith in this Dolphins resurgence to think that they're going to beat a Chargers team that, yeah, is maybe not riding the highs of the first week or two, but still has some consistency there. Concerns about the offensive line, but then I don't know if necessarily this Dolphins defensive line is going to be the thing that challenges it the most. So I'll take the Chargers to win and to cover, but this is maybe the last time I'm giving Justin Herbert the benefit of the doubt.
When have you ever given Justin Herbert the benefit of the doubt? Shut up.
First 2 last week. Last week, both in my bets and in my predictions, and look how that worked out. Copilot has Chargers 30, Dolphins 34. Herbert and Tua light up the scoreboard. Miami's speed proves too much in a 4th quarter shootout.
Well, that wasn't very podcast electrifying.
Well, do you want the
No, I
first
don't. I don't. Just no, we're good.
before I asked it to correct itself, get your popcorn. This one's a track meet. Tua and Herbert go toe to toe in a shootout, but Miami's speed wins the day.
I
Dolphins
like
are
that
averaging
better.
nearly 30 points per game. That's not sustainable. Or is it?
Ooh. Sam,
And we might be replaced by AI pretty soon. Uh,
suspenseful Sam over here.
Up next, we have the Rams at the Ravens, and the Rams are 7.5 point favorites. This is, according to Bill Simmons, this is the kitchen sink game for the Ravens, but I don't know. I don't think the Ravens have a kitchen sink left. I think it's gone. You know, I think this is the last of the games that they're willing to just let go before their bye and hope that they can come back 2 weeks from now fresher and healthier and competitive. And I can't imagine really a worse matchup when you are banged up and struggling than a very well drilled Rams team coming off a very disappointing Thursday night football loss. Like you've got Sean McVay has had 10 days to prepare for this, is facing criticism for his fourth down call at the end of the game against the 49ers. I think this will be a little bit of a statement game from Stafford and, Puka Nakua just lighting this terrible. I mean, how many points? Puka Nakua could have 300 yards receiving against this Ravens team. Their defense is awful. This game should be done with by halftime, but maybe even by the end of the first quarter. I mean, their game against the Texans was over by the end of the first quarter. So it's not, I think the Rams will win and win big.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Ravens are giving up 177 points this season, averaging 262 passing yards allowed. So I agree with you. I think Stafford is going to just light them up. The only reason it might not be done at the first is maybe they're going to try and slow it down and just give it to Henry a lot more because he hasn't been rushing very well and getting the ball very much. So maybe they're just going to go back to basics and just hand it off every time. But yeah, I think the Rams will win this comfortably.
So Copilot has the Rams winning 27-20, but it is expecting, based on its prediction, that Lamar Jackson is going to play. So read into that what you
Oh,
will.
he knows something we don't.
Stafford's arm is aging like fine wine. 1,500 yards.
I like that one.
1,500 yards already and counting. Lamar will dance, but LA's air attack will be the difference. Rams are quietly building something scary.
See, now this is what I don't like about this. I thought when you said Lamar will dance, it's gonna like counter it with a like, but it won't be able to two-step their way or something like that.
Yeah.
Lamar
No.
will dance, but Stafford will trample or something like that. Even that would have been okay.
The algorithm's not perfect yet, thank God. Otherwise, people wouldn't need us. And then the last of those, that middle set of games, I guess, with the London game factored in, it's Seahawks at the Jags, and the Jags are 1 point favorites. Did you see the clips of the Jags stadium after their win against the Chiefs on Monday night? Just people losing their minds, like a guy humping the floor.
Pure chaos.
I mean, I went to a Jags game 2 years ago. Where was that atmosphere when I was there? That was people
They had to
streaming
beat
out.
the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, that looked insane. There's just people humping the floor, humping the ceiling, things getting thrown all over the place. I mean, I don't know if I'd really want to be there because it's either fun or a nightmare. It's probably more nightmare than it is fun, but that's certainly interesting.
Yeah, that was really funny. I did see all those as well. This is going to be a pretty close game. The Jags have the most takeaways in the NFL, so their defense is playing at a pretty high level, forcing turnovers. But Sam Darnold, like we said earlier, is sneakily having a really, really good statistical year. So he's passing the ball really well. This is the resurgence of Sam Darnold coming from a great Vikings season now to a great Seahawks season. So I'll take the Seahawks to win here. I think it will be close, but I just think I'm not sold on the Jags. I think actually they should have lost that game last week against the Chiefs. I think they were actually a little outplayed in that game, and I think the Seahawks are a better team. I think this week will a little bit at least clear up if the NFC West is actually all really good or all really shit. I think this could tell us a little bit about the NFC West this week. So I think the NFC West is actually pretty good, and I'll take the Seahawks to win this.
Interesting. I think the Jags are better. I think the Jags will win. Top 5 offense in red zone efficiency. That in spite of Trevor Lawrence's fumble on the goal line on Monday night. So I think they'll be able to get themselves into scoring position frequently enough. And I don't trust this Seahawks offense at all. So yeah, I'll take the Jags to win and Jags to cover. And the co-pilot has Jags 26, Seahawks 23. Trevor Lawrence versus Geno Smith. Oh dear!
Come on,
I asked it to correct
co-pilot.
itself.
Okay.
So that I was hoping that one it got right. So it didn't. And this time it has Seahawks 27, Jags 23. So it changed its mind.
Let's go, co-pilot. It found out Sam Darnold's playing, and let's go, co-pilot. Here we go.
Darnold's quietly having a career year. Seattle's defense.
Did he just listen to me and just change his mind?
I like that. Seattle's defense plugs the run and forces Lawrence to beat them through the air. I guess the implication is he can't.
Nope.
Moving on to the late games, we have the Titans at the Raiders, and the Raiders are 4.5-point favorites. And I guess I have to pull it out. Now, the problem here is, whilst I don't want to watch any of this game, there's only 3 games in this time slot. So I'm going to see a lot of this game. Like, there's no 2 ways around it. Especially, not only that, there are only 3 games in this time slot. This is the only one that kicks off at 4:05 Eastern time, and the other 2 are at 4:25 Eastern time. So unless there's a game that goes to overtime in that early slate, for 20 minutes, this is the only thing available to watch. So you'll see the full first quarter. It's not good news. Yeah.
No, you're screwed. Yeah, I don't want to watch this. I don't even want to bet on it. I don't want to talk about it. I guess I'll do the Eddie philosophy here. And when 2 shitty teams play, you take the underdog with the points.
No, that isn't my philosophy completely. Because
I'm going to do the Edward Hewitt philosophy and just take the Titans here.
But I don't think the Raiders are anywhere near as bad as the Titans. That's why I wouldn't apply that philosophy.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I think the Raiders will win and win comfortably. I'll take the Raiders to win and to cover. I think the Raiders are bad, but the Titans are really, really bad, and I'm not going to overreact to the fact that they somehow lucked their way out of another humbling defeat last week. I'm not fooled. Unless you can tell me the Raiders are going to drop the ball as they run into the end zone, kick the ball into their own end zone, concuss their quarterback with a snap. Unless all of those things are going to happen, then I feel pretty good about taking the Raiders. And co-pilot agrees with me. It has the Titans 21, Raiders 27. Ward's growing pains continue. Geno rebounds and leads Vegas to a much-needed win. Unfortunately, when I have the correction, it loses
the flair.
Yeah, because the previous prediction was Vegas is quietly balanced and Tennessee's O-line is a turnstile. 10 sacks allowed in two games. Max Crosby will feast, and Jimmy G keeps it clean. It was doing all right. I could have helped co-pilot out there and left out the Jimmy.
What is co-pilot thinking? Jimmy G never keeps it clean.
The weird thing is it gets the stats right, but then the quarterback wrong, if you see what I mean, or the key player wrong. I don't know quite how the algorithm is so poor, but anyway, it is. Then Bengals at the Packers. Packers heaviest favorites of the weekend. They are 14-point favorites.
Obviously I think the Packers will win this. The Bengals are bring in Joe Flacco, which I don't know if you saw the picture of him flying economy, like just with this terrible look on his face. Just like, what the fuck am I doing? I have a pretty good stat on Joe Flacco here that popped up is he's going to be the 4th quarterback to start for 2 teams in the same division in the same season since the 1970 merger. Can you guess the others?
Are they post 2000? If they're pre 2000, I would say I got no chance.
Sorry, he'll be the third because there's a little controversy as to the fourth one, but I don't count the fourth one. So there's been three. They
Who's the one you
are
don't? Who's the one you don't count?
Josh Dobbs.
Why don't you count him?
Because he played for two teams, but they weren't in the same division. They were in the same conference.
Okay. So are any of them post 2000?
Yeah, both of them. So I'll even give you the years: 2011 and 2021.
Well, 2021. If I can't get that, although it's the COVID time, so it's a little bit. Did one of them play for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No.
Tell me the teams, just to make it.
Okay. The 2011, it was this person started out as the Denver Broncos starting quarterback.
Oh, is one of them Fitzpatrick in 2021? No. Okay. All right. So Denver Broncos.
2011 started off as the Denver Broncos quarterback and then ended up playing for the Chiefs. It's a tough one. You'll recognize the name, but I don't think you're going to be able to guess it.
I'll say no then.
Kyle Orton.
Okay. Sure. Most associated
2021
with the
one you should get.
2021. Okay, give me the teams.
I can give you the better clue. He's a QB journeyman.
Is it Josh Johnson?
No. Better. I'll tell you, but you're instantly gonna guess it when I tell you the team. He started
still
for
in the
Tampa
NFL?
Bay Buccaneers. Yes.
Still in the NFL. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Journeyman quarterback. Andy Dalton?
No.
I give up.
Winston.
Oh, no. The fact that the Tampa Bay, I expected him to be less well established, if you see what I mean. I was trying to think of someone who was like backup becomes a start, like kind of in the Flacco scenario of you're never really the primary quarterback, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I guess going back to it though, I guess the question is, can the Packers really blow them out that much with Joe Flacco coming in without really knowing the playbook? I'll say yes. I'll take them to cover. I don't love that pick, but the Bengals are just not looking good, and who knows what that offense is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I referenced this a week ago, right, where that clip that went viral of the Bengals being unable to protect Browning from a three-man pass rush. I don't think the solution to that is to put a 40-year-old quarterback in place who really can't move. Like, I don't think that's solving most of their problems. So whilst Flacco is definitely better than Browning, and they've got weapons around him, and it's the fear with Flacco, right, is that sometimes he just airs it out, and you've got all those receivers and a good tight end, and this could be Flacco throwing for 400 yards and suckering everyone in for, oh, this is it. This is the fun Flacco's back, and then next week it's 7 interceptions.
Yeah, for one game.
We've seen this before. He did this with the Browns 2 seasons ago. So if this weren't his first game, if this literally were not, he was in London last week with the Browns, then he's gone back to Cleveland, then now he's traveled to, like, that again for a 40-year-old is not ideal preparation. And this is a Packers defense that's supposed to be good, even though it hasn't been that great so far. So yeah, I'll take them to win, and 14, and it's a lot. It is a lot, but I think we do see, whilst there's been some surprises in recent weeks, we've seen a lot of blowouts too. So I'll back that this is a blowout. I'll take them to win and to cover.
A great defensive matchup. Jamar Chase going against Micah Parsons, and Jamar Chase has more solo tackles than Micah Parsons.
Copilot has the Packers winning 34-17. Green Bay's offense is humming, and the Bengals are reeling. With a 14-point spread, this could get ugly fast. Jordan Love throws for 3 scores.
Oh, okay.
Now that's interesting because they have him throwing. So they're getting Jordan Love to have 21 of the Packers' 34 points based on that prediction. So then they need
Josh Jacobs has 2.
Well, no, they can have 1 more touchdown and 2 field goals. So there was 1 rushing touchdown. Place that bet. the specificity there of Jordan Love 3 touchdowns, a running butt, or Jordan Love could score, I guess.
Just pick the score.
Just 34 points on the nose. We then have the third and final of this slate of games, which is undoubtedly the best. It's like the only one of these that is in any way remotely interesting, which is the 49ers at the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers are 3-point favorites.
Yeah, this is crazy game because the Niners are 4-1, and each of those games decided by 5 points or fewer. The Bucks are 4-1, and each of those games are decided by 6 points. So like it's crazy that both of these teams are winning super close games right now. So undoubtedly, this has to be a close game at the end. Yeah, this is tough. I'm all in on Moxie Mayfield this year. There's just something about the swagger and the moxie he's got this year that's just it's so fun to watch. Not that it hasn't been fun in the past, but this year it just seems more fun because they're actually winning. Is it 3.5 or 3?
It is 3.
I will take the Niners to win, but the Bucks to cover. Close game.
No, the Bucks are 3-point favorites.
Oh, the Bucks are 3-point favorite. Oh, then I will take the Bucks to win and the Niners to cover.
If anyone wants to know why they shouldn't follow Frank's predictions, that's summed up right there. I think this team will win. Oh, they're not the favorites? Okay, then give me the other side.
No, I think either way I would take the points. I know 3 doesn't sound like that much, but with two teams that neither of them have won a single game over 5 points, I think taking 3 is actually a good amount of points to take. So, but I'll take the Bucks just to keep it spicy to win.
Yeah, so this is tough. I mean, obviously, to no surprise, I'm going to pick the Niners to win here, and the Niners plus 3 points. But I say to no surprise, I obviously predicted that they would lose to the Rams 10 days ago. What makes this hard is that this is a Bucs team that's lost members of its offensive line over the course of the year, and it's been like, well, when will it be too much? And the same with the Niners, who've lost players everywhere. And then the question is, well, when it is too much? And the difference here is at least the Niners are getting some of those players back to. So Jennings returned to practice this week, so will probably play some part in the game this weekend. The expectation is that Purdy is playing, but at least should have more confidence in Mac Jones, even if Purdy isn't.
Should he play?
The reason why I think he should is because I think he may be less injured than Mac Jones. Like Mac Jones is hobbling around and throwing for 300 yards, but looks like he's struggling. And I have to admit, he kind of wins me over. I wasn't a huge fan of the Two-Face suit that he wore to his post-game press conference. I thought that was a kind of weird move, but I respect the ambition. But he just seems he's sort of like Eeyore, Mac Jones, when he kind of wanders in for like he's charming and he does seem very, very nice, but he also seems kind of morose almost. So that's the bit that's a little bit strange. But yeah, I'd be happy with either one of them playing is the honest answer. But I think the Niners, again, you also benefit from 10 days rest, which with 2 beaten up teams, those extra 3 days is significant. So yeah, Niners to win. The co-pilot has the Buccaneers winning 28-24. Baker's playing like a man possessed. Purdy steady, but Tampa Bay's offense is too hot to handle.
Hell yeah. Man possessed. I love it. Co-pilot Sam feeling it.
And then we have Sunday Night Football, a really good game. The Lions at the Chiefs. And I told you 2 weeks ago, I said that the Chiefs were done and dusted, and then they had their win, and you got excited again, and then they lost again. And then this is the nail in the coffin of anyone who believes that the Chiefs are good, because the Lions are just going to explode out of the blocks against this Chiefs team. And it is going to be like, oh, this Chiefs team looks old and slow, and this Lions team is just running all over them at light speed. So I think the Lions score 40 plus points, I think they win fairly easily, like 40-20, something in that range. And it's just a nice blowout for the Lions.
I just want to make sure there's enough space in between there so it plays really well when I put my phone next to the microphone next week.
That's okay.
Yeah, whether you think the Chiefs are good this year or not and can kind of make a run towards the playoffs in the back half of the season, the fact that they are favored in this game, to quote Michael Scott, is egregious. Like, I cannot believe that the 4-1 Lions, I get that it's an Arrowhead, but the Lions look like the best team in the NFL the last 4 weeks. And they're playing against a Chiefs team that looks like a team that might be able to find a way into the playoffs. They are not like a number one in the conference bye team like the Lions are. This is crazy to me. I saw this and I almost couldn't believe it that
I agree with
the
you.
Chiefs are favored. This is the most shocking spread I've seen in a long time. You could have told me Lions -6 and I probably still would have taken the Lions.
I agree. Could have told me Lions -10 and I'm thinking about it.
No, that's too much. Having said all of that, no,
God.
No.
No, wait. It's actually Lions -2.
Yeah, I think it will be close, but I think the Lions will win this. And if you're telling me the Lions are getting points, then yeah, I'm definitely taking the Lions. I'll put it this way: I put the Lions in my teaser, and I was licking my chops that I'm getting the Lions +7.5.
Hey, you're stealing lines from Copilot now.
Yeah,
so what,
he's influencing me.
You went 7 points more, so
6 points more, so you get 7.5. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy.
I can't see the Chiefs winning by more than a touchdown. That would really surprise me. Put it that way.
Yeah,
that would be.
And the last time they met, the Lions won in Arrowhead 21-20, and that was in the season opener in 2020, 2 years ago. That was. So yeah, I think the Chiefs are finding their footing, and I actually think they will make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to win that division, although now that division's starting to come back to them now a little bit. But I think you also agree that the Lions could be the best team in the NFL.
They're certainly the best team in the NFL at the moment. Like, that's, I think, undeniable. As for that division coming back to the Chiefs, it is and it isn't. I mean, yeah, they're 1 game back right now, but I think they'll be 2 games back of 2 teams at the end of this week, and they'll have the Raiders with the same record as them. So I'm not sure how much that division is really coming back to them, assuming that my predictions are 100% right, which they usually are. So
that's assuming, Eddie, that the Broncos can beat the Jets.
Yes, that's the bit. That's the one game involving a team in that division that I have absolute confidence in. Copilot has the Lions winning 30-27. Game of the week alert. Goff leads the NFL in touchdowns, and Detroit's offense is humming. Mahomes keeps it close. He
loves humming. He's a big humming guy.
He is. but the Lions steal one in Arrowhead. All right. Then we've got the delight. You know, they listen to this podcast. They know how much we love the double Monday night, the double header. And the first of them, and they thought, do you know what would please you more than the Bills against the Falcons on Monday night paired with the Bears against the Commanders? 2 games that if you put them on a Sunday, you wouldn't watch either of them. But, well, you might watch the Bills against the Falcons, I guess, because it'll probably be fun. But this is not great.
You know how they flex games? Can they flex matchups? Can they put the Bills against the Commanders and then the Falcons against the Bears, but then move the Falcons Bears up to like a Sunday morning game so we don't have to watch it?
3 a.m. Yeah. Well, the Bills are 4.5 point favorites. So coming off the back of a couple disappointing performances, and obviously the loss last week to the Patriots.
Listen, I'm going to keep this simple, Eddie. You know my philosophy. I've been saying it for years. You always take a good team after a loss.
Yeah.
So I'll take the Bills to win and to cover.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to agree with you. but I'm not. It's just the question is how good is this Bills team? But yeah, now if you thought that. So I'll take them to win and to cover. If you thought that Copilot has been oddly specific so far, it was waiting for this game to really flex its muscles.
Let's
It
go.
has Bills 31, Falcons 20. Josh Allen's bounce back game. Buffalo lights up Atlanta's porous defense, which is giving up over 6 yards per play. Expect a highlight reel hurdle.
Can we bet that?
Oh, dear. I hope that we'll have a social media clip if there's if now also is this Josh Allen specifically hurdling a player, or are they just saying over the course of this game there's a highlight reel hurdle, because there are decent hurdles in almost every NFL game now, so that's not as wild of a prediction.
But a highlight reel one that like makes it to SportsCenter's top 10. Did it next to the highlight reel hurdle? Did it say da-na-na?
It didn't.
Did it have a sound bite?
Next week I'll ask it to specifically do ESPN SportsCenter style predictions, and then we'll see what it comes
Next
up
week
with.
Can you ask it to predict games, predict the scores of games, and then like match a song to how they think the game's gonna go?
Okay, that's gonna be a nightmare, but sure. We'll go for it. Wrapping things up, it's the Bears, the Commanders, and Commanders are 4.5-point favorites. To me, like, the Commanders' defense is good. They kind of proved themselves even further against the Chargers, where that game went from 10-0 to the Commanders being in complete control pretty fast. I mean, they just locked up that Chargers offense eventually. And they're, with now that you're looking at an offense that I think is not explosive, and it's not maybe the way we saw them last year when they were, really beating teams in exciting fashions, but they're going to score enough points where, I feel confident that they'll win this game. And this Bears team is just so inconsistent, and I can't trust them. Even within a game, they are inconsistent. So I think up against a good defense, you're going to see a poor performance.
Yeah, what's crazy is the Bears had a bye last week, and I feel like I haven't seen them play in forever. Because I was just trying to think, like, I know they've won their last two, but I don't remember what those games really looked like because it felt so long ago because they had that bye. I agree with you. I think now that Daniels is back with the Commanders, I think the Commanders are the better team here. He looked pretty good against Herbert. So I'll take the Commanders to win here, and I'll take them to cover.
So I quickly asked to allow it to help you to pick a song, and also to make it more SportsCenter style in terms of his predictions. So it's a Monday night matchup with two of the most electric young quarterbacks in the league, and this one's got fireworks written all over it. It has the Commanders winning 26-19. Daniels is dynamic and decisive. Washington's defense steals it late with a pick. Also very specific. Its opening montage song is the way it went with it, is Power by Kanye West. We might get canceled for that one. It then quotes, no one man should have all that power. And tonight, to do. Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are redefining what a dual threat means.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And then for the outro, it says two future stars, one primetime stage, and a game that lived up to the hype. God, Caleb Williams showed why he was the number one pick, but Jaden Williams showed why wins matter more than highlights.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. A little wordy, but I like it.
It's by SportsCenter.
I like the song thing. That's pretty good.
And as an outro song, it picked Can't Hold Us by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. Tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over. It's got that triumphant, adrenaline-pumping feel, ideal for a highlight reel of two young quarterbacks trading blows under the lights. The horns, the rhythm, the message, all scream future legends in the making.
Wow, they're really high on Caleb Williams.
and Jaden Daniels, to be fair.
At least Jaden Daniels had like a really good season so far last year.
Yeah, he made it to the playoffs.
Season.
But yeah, these are look, it's positive. AI it just has rose tinted glasses for everything. Everyone says AI is going to solve all our problems, right? So I guess that pretty much wraps up the sports stories. Anything? And I know we already spoke briefly about Chad Powers, but anything else non-sports related to discuss?
No, actually, so I know. Are you caught up on Task?
I am not. I'm 2 episodes behind.
Okay.
No, 1 episode behind.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
one.
one
I won't
episode.
spoil anything, but this episode involves a sketch artist.
Okay.
Like, they bring a sketch artist in and someone comes in and describes someone and they draw it. And it got me to thinking. And then so then I actually asked my father, who was a state trooper, like, how does it actually work and what do they actually do? And it's a lot of them kind of like with a booklet saying, like, did his eyes look like this or like this? And then they will draw it and then kind of change it and then kind of, okay, so let's go to the mouth. Does the mouth look like this or like this? And I get it, and I'm sure that's really good. But I think I would be so bad at describing someone that I could literally have you sitting next to me and the sketch artist in front of me and say, can you describe Eddie so I could draw him? And I could literally look over at you and still not be able to do it. Like, I think that is something I am so bad at. When people are like, what do they look like? In my head, I can never picture what someone looks like. Like, I cannot picture faces in my head for shit. Like, I think I would be awful. Like, a sketch artist would just hit me in the head with the fucking, like, with the pad. He'd be so mad.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a bad memory too, right? So that factors into it as well. A bad memory
But,
for certain things.
but what's weird is I actually have a pretty good memory for visual things. Like, the way I remember, like stuff for like school and everything used to be, I could remember where it was on the page of a book that I was reading. Like, I could
Oh,
tell you
your memory
exactly where it
palace.
was. Not a memory palace, but
That is the same logic, though. That is the memory palace approach. It's just you were creating each book was a memory palace. That's basically what you were doing.
maybe. But then maybe I don't have a portrait palace. I need a portrait palace.
So your memory palace would be a library, for example. That would
Okay.
be so you would put all your books in your library, then you
But
would
the
go and
books
get
are
that
real,
book.
but that's different though. I
But
thought the
that's
memory
no,
palace was supposed
because
to be fake things.
no, it's real things in a fake environment, but possibly real. Ideally, it's a place that you know extremely well, and then with objects, and then you link a thing to an object. So if I want to remember, I create my memory palaces. Let's say it's, I don't know, the Museum of Modern Art. I know it extremely
Okay.
well, and then I want to remember that your name. I associate you with something like a painting within the Museum of Modern Art that for whatever reason I can link to you. And so then when I see that painting, I see you, I see Frank. Like that's how it's supposed to work. So you do, I mean, I'm sure this is not the perfect explanation of how a memory palace works, but you do
No, we
want,
had that 15-minute YouTube video that we all tried and we all fucking failed.
you do want a physical location that you're familiar with because that you have to be tying it to something real. But yeah, no, it's, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, the sketch artist thing. I am highly skeptical about how well it would work. And also too, like so many of them just end up looking so generic in their end result. It's like, oh yeah, it just looks like a white guy with a ponytail. This is what we've got
Yeah.
to. Like that's I could have just told you that.
80% of the crime in America is a white guy with a ponytail.
But yeah, it's always
It's
a
a
little
good
bit
starting
strange.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just tough because, like, and I think that's just for me too. In particular, I'm not someone who notices different facial features. Like, I know there are people out there who are like, oh, like, look at, like, that person has such a unique eye shape. It looks like so and so. Like, I can't tell differences in eye shapes. Like, it's not something that I recognize really well.
The
Like
only
those types of
facial
things.
feature, the only thing eye related that I ever notice about people is if their eyes are really close together or really far
Yeah,
apart.
that's it.
That's,
Yeah.
that's like, and so
If
for
they
most
have
people,
one eye or two, I can
yeah,
recognize that.
but for most people, the eyes are just kind of in a relatively normal place. And so that would be my only comment on their eyes. But like, it's only like, oh yeah, his eyes were super close together. This is the only bit of information I can give you. But other than that, it's true.
Like how full were their lips? I don't know. Like full?
Yeah, he had a beard. What did the beard look like? It's like, I don't know, facial hair. I can't really distinctly remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's tough. Oh well, hopefully we never find ourselves in situations where we're having to give information to a sketch artist. Maybe we can get one on the podcast though.
It'd be cool to do. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
like I could, I'm telling you right now, there's no way I could get even a close picture of anyone close that I know, like through a sketch artist. It would be so bad.
Well, if you're listening,
if you're listening, like the drawing. Wait. In my head, we do it for like 45 minutes, and he holds up the picture of the leprechaun with that skit. You know what I'm talking about?
Glad you've amused yourself with that one.
I like that.
If you're a listener and you are a sketch artist or you know a sketch artist, then reach out to us and put us in touch. But I will make it a goal. I will reach out to some sketch artists and see if we can get them to come on and, like, let's say do a 20-minute sketch. I don't want to take their time for too long. And also, it's a podcast, so I don't know how well the sketch artist.
Yeah. What do their eyes look like? Like this or like this? So, listeners, he's showing us different eyes.
Yeah. I said further apart, and he's moved them slightly further apart. Yeah. Well, I'll see how that goes in task. But yeah, I'll watch that this weekend, and then I'll catch up with the next episode.
Yeah. So you're one behind, and there's 7 total. So you've watched 4.
Yeah.
So you gotta try and get through the penultimate then as well, so we can discuss, because the penultimate's usually the best episode anyway.
I'll watch. Yeah, this is you love this theory. We have to hear this about every TV show,
especially HBO shows. Their penultimates are always the best.
I'll die on the hill of bet on a good team after a loss, and you'll die on the hill of the penultimate episode of a series or a season is always the best one for HBO.
HBO in particular.
Okay. But yeah, no, I'll watch I'll catch up this weekend, and then I'll watch the new episode quickly like that. I usually watch that Monday night, so that's easy enough.
Perfect. Yeah, then I can give us some updates on University of Minnesota ice hockey. I'm actually pretty excited to go. The stadium looks awesome, and the atmosphere looks pretty cool. So, and we were thinking about the next day going to the football games, but to go spend $80 a ticket to watch a mediocre Big Ten football team is a little outrageous.
And it's not they're quite heavy favorites this week, aren't they, Minnesota?
It's Minnesota versus Purdue. It'll be a decent game. Like, Purdue's always decent, but I don't know if it's really worth it. Although the weather is phenomenal. Like, it might be worth it just to squeeze out every nice weather day you can before it starts to get really, really cold here. So we'll see. But instead, on Saturday, we might just kind of do. Another thing we'll do that'll be pretty cool that I don't know we'll still be going when you're here is we're going to do a tour of one of the lakes. So, like, the really nice lake that all the rich people have $15 million homes on the lakefront, you can do like a little boat tour and like drive around and see all the houses and stuff. So that'll be pretty cool. So we'll do that Saturday and then probably skip the football, I think. Just watch it at home on my nice television.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know how much the lake house tour appeals to me, I will say, but you can tell me if it blows you away on Saturday.
Well, you just get a nice little boat tour and you can get
the boat part,
some drinks.
Yeah. I just more like the idea of being on the boat. I don't know if I need to see big houses.
You know it's not specifically for seeing big houses. It's just to see the lake in general. But obviously, you'll see houses on the lake. But mostly, you just ride around it's like a boat cruise for 2 hours and get some drinks. But with that, I guess we'll call it a day.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Cheerio.